We're excited for you to be here, and we are super excited about this tool, our Sign Supply Wizard, and Jeff is the wizard. With that, Jeff is going to walk us through. This is our 101, so we're going to do some basics today on cabinet builds and channel letters and create a bill of material and see how easy it is to order from Glantz. With that being said, I'm going to hand it over to Jeff and take it away.
Thanks, Heather. Hi, everyone. It's a pleasure for me to be here with you guys today to talk about Sign Supply Wizard. We've done a couple of these webinars, and I'm going to go through today and give you an introduction and run through a channel letter job. But I want to make a pitch for the webinar on Thursday, where we'll go into a little bit more depth and talk about some more advanced things that you can do. So that's Thursday at the same time. And so what I have today is a quick PowerPoint, and then we'll go straight into the tool. I'll log in, we'll do the job, we'll create the bill of materials, we'll put it in the cart, create the PDF, go through the entire workflow. And I know everybody's busy, and that's kind of what this is about, is saving a little bit of time, or perhaps a lot of time in this workflow of estimating a job and ordering the materials. So,
And sorry, Jeff, before we get
yeah,
going, if you have questions along the way, you should be able to put those in the chat. Because of the webinar, you won't be able to just kind of speak out. Feel free to put them in the chat. I'll make sure to keep an eye on that. And that way, as we go along, Jeff can answer those questions. So you can use the chat. There's a Q&A as well. So make sure, and I'll make a note as well. So thank you. Now I'll be quiet.
totally. Thanks, Heather. Yeah. So what I wanted to start with today is a brief talk about our easy layout builder on the Principal Sloan website. And this is kind of where Sign Supply Wizard started. So I think probably a lot of you are familiar with this tool. It's our online layout tool for LEDs and drivers. Makes a PDF and tells you how many LEDs and how many drivers you need. And this is a great tool for you. It's fast, easy, free. You take that PDF and you turn that back, to your Glantz rep as an order. And it's we know from our experience internally with Principal that if we're first to quote a job, if you're first to get that quote to your customer, you have a good chance of landing that job. And so with Easy Layout Builder, we started thinking about, what if we could estimate some other job materials? Because we do some math here, right? So we calculate the perimeter, we calculate area. And for years, I've been talking about this capability with LED Wizard 8, our desktop software for estimating other materials. So that was kind of how Sign Supply Wizard was born. So, this is an online layout and estimation tool for nearly all the job materials that you need for a standard channel letter and or sign cabinet job. Okay, so it's integrated with nglantz.com, which I'll show you. So in this workflow, you can create the layout, you can build a bill of materials, you can put that in your Glantz cart and purchase those materials straight through the Glantz e-commerce system. It's well integrated. And it's a comprehensive workflow from the beginning to the end. Streamline, it's job focused. It's a one-stop shop application. And so, job focused is one of the unique things about this. So it is based on a job. We're in a job-based industry. So when you have a job, you can estimate the materials for that job and order the materials for that job. So that's what it is. And in terms of what's in it for you, this streamlining of that workflow that I've explained, if you think about how much time it takes to estimate this stuff and order this stuff, it can be a lengthy process. So we do the math. You select the products, and we do the math. And this goes all the way into the Glantz shopping cart. There are 4 basic steps in the workflow that we'll talk about. Again, we're creating the job, a channel letter set or a cabinet. We're adding the products. And so we have sorting and filtering and lots of ways that we help you to find the right product. You can view that bill of materials, make sure everything is correct, gives you a full layout of everything, and then you can add that right into the cart and purchase. So, this is a way to tighten up your estimates, tighten up your inventory, and also do cost accounting on the jobs, right? So we'll tell you exactly how much material is to be used on that job, and you have a costing for it. So you can go back later and say, hey, did we make money on this job or not? And so that's important. Costs are going up, logistics, it's an important part of the business, and it's important to know what your costs are. And finally, this is all about winning more business, getting your quote to the customer first, having confidence in your estimates to know that you're estimating according to the math that we're doing. So end of the day, it's definitely about winning more business. So this is just a little preview about what I'll do in the demo. So I'm going to switch in a minute to the Glantz website. If you have a Glantz account on mglantz.com, you can follow along. You can do your own job. You can do something similar to what I'm doing. We are accessing actual Glantz products. We are looking up, inventory as of the second. We are looking up pricing. I get the worst pricing because I'm not a real customer, but whatever pricing that you get according to your account is what you'll see in the system. So we're going to go through, first I'll go through a channel letter job. We're going to define that job. We're going to select and calculate and add the materials, review that BOM, add it to the cart. And we'll do a little bit, just kind of show you what happens on the back end in the Glantz system. And then I won't be, but you can go ahead and purchase the materials after that. That's the basic run through. This is my final slide. I'll just go through it now in case we don't get back to it. If you need help, sswizard@nglantz.com. Of course, the Glantz 800 number there. There is a quick start guide that I wrote that goes through the whole workflow, pictures of where to do things and how everything is laid out. There are additional videos of past webinars that we've done. And so there might be more information that you can get from one of those webinars. And this is my contact information. So that's it for the PowerPoint. And let me just pull up.
Yes, and we will have those recordings under the event, so you can see the webinar. And then if you need an account, you can go to the registration as well. I'll put that in the chat. So
terrific. Okay. Yep. So here's the Glantz website. And the first thing that I'm going to do is log in. And just be aware in the system, as with the Glantz e-commerce site in general, that you have to be active in about a 10 or 15 minute period, or else you'll be logged out. If you're in the middle of a Sign Supply Wizard job and the phone rings or something, we will save the job and you can go back in and continue that job. So I'm logged in now, and the link to go to it here is this Sign Supply Wizard link. If you click here where it says Learn More, then you go to this page. And it has links to the webinars for today and Thursday, a couple other videos here, and some facts. So this is kind of the landing page. This is the link to go straight into the tool. And when you launch the tool, you get to our screen, and you want to go to step 1 and create jobs. So this is basically what we're going to do. I ran through it this morning to make sure everything was right. But you have to do a new job, and you have to give it a new job number, right? So you need, for your account, you need a unique job number. And I just punch in a bunch of numbers. And by the way, on the Thursday session, we're going to do multiple letter sets. Today, we're going to do a single multiple letter sets on Thursday. So here's my new job. I'm going to click OK. And really at this point, I have the option of doing a channel letter set or a sign cabinet, these two tabs here. And so I'm going to do letters. And again, if you're used to the Easy Layout Builder, this should look familiar. We're not defining any products here. We're just setting up the job, and we're saying, this is my letter set. So the layout type is either face lit or halo lit. We're going to do a halo lit on Thursday. 24 inches I'm going to do is the standard. I'm going to do 30 inches. This is my letter height. And this ranges from 8 inches all the way up to 96 inches. I'm going to do a standard 5-inch depth. My font, we have about 30 fonts in the system. And I'm going to do Helvetica bold condensed. And my text is going to say Sign Supply Wizard. Okay. Then I'll click on create. And it's going to give me a render. And as I add products to the job, my render is going to update. Right? It's going to update with the vinyl color. It's going to update with my return and my LEDs, et cetera, et cetera. So for step one, I've created the job. There are two other buttons here that are only in the Create Job tab. That is My Jobs. So this is a listing of my past jobs. So when you do jobs in our system, we save them, and you can go back and you can open up a job that you've done before. The next one is Favorites. So you can import your favorites from your Glantz account for products that you buy frequently. And we have a favorite system in Sign Supply Wizard as well, so you can add products as favorites. So kind of a merging of the two favorites system. So definitely you go in here to favorites and you say import customer favorite lists. And I think I've already done all these, but so favorites can be categorized and named in the Glantz system, and then you can import them here. Okay, so I'm going to click on step 2, and that's add products. And this is really the heart of the system, right? This is where we go through and we figure out what products that we want to add. And the product category listing is in this drop down right here. And it's a lot of products, right? They're organized kind of from face to back, more or less, until we get to some of the other stuff down here. But so I can go through this list and I can click each one, or I can go sequentially and I can use these arrows to go back and forth, which is what I prefer to do. The system is designed to make sure that you put all the materials that you need and that you don't forget anything. And so clicking the arrows back and forth is the best way to do that. So I'm going to start with acrylic. And the way that this page is designed is down the left side, we have the various filters, right? And you should be, familiar with these filters. It's the exact same, set of filters that are on the Glantz website. So my first filter is I want to do white 2447. Okay, so I'm going to select that. And now only the 2447s are going to be listed here. And I want to do this one right here. And so I have favorites as well. Sorry. So there are favorites. So these 3 products here that have the heart are my favorites, and they show up at the top of the list. And so I'm not going to choose one of those, but the way that favorite system works is that they show up on the top. I actually want to select this one. This is a 118. This is a 48 by 96, 2447. And what I want to actually first do is click on the inventory button. Okay, so we have 12 sheets of these in Phoenix. I know that Glantz will move materials around for you. So you can order, you can put through a material that doesn't show an inventory. That is not disallowed by the system. So that's what I'm going to do here. And I'm going to click on Calc. And that calculates how many sheets you're going to need of the 4x8 acrylic. Okay, so it says 3 sheets. I can edit this number. Like if I want to buy more, or if I have some in stock and I want to buy less, then I can edit that number. But I'm going to go ahead and go with 3, and then I'm going to click on Add. Okay, so we have a nesting routine, so we do nesting. This is probably like 2.5 sheets or something like that, rounded up to 3 sheets. I click on Added, or I clicked on Add. Now it shows Added, and up here in the BOM, this 1 here represents that I have 1 product in the BOM. Okay. So there are a couple other face materials that I'm going to skip in a minute, which is polycarb and flex face. So I wouldn't need those for this job. But my next product category is vinyl. And of course, vinyl, there's a lot of vinyls, right? So if I scroll down here to the bottom, 76 pages of vinyl. So I definitely want to either use favorites or I want to do some filtering to help me get to the right vinyl product. Some product categories only have a few products and it's easy to select, but vinyl is probably the biggest one. So I'm going to go to color range, and I want to look at reds, which limits it down to let's see, to only 12 pages. So I'm going to continue to do my filtering, and I want to filter by width because I have a 48-inch cutter. So now I'm at red 48 inches, and now I'm whittling it down a little bit. The other filter that I would do is I want to buy a full length. I'm going to buy a 50 yard. So I'm going to do 50 yard. I could also filter by brand. So I'm getting 3M, Arlon, Avery, Orful. I'm getting 4 different brands just here on the first page. And this is fine. So I'm going to go ahead and select tomato red. That's perfect. And I'm going to click on calculate. So I'm just a little bit less than 10 yards. So if I didn't want any extra red, I could get a 10-yard roll, and I wouldn't have any extra. And you can do that. So you can click on calc and then calc something different before you add it, right? But I'll take the 50 yard. This is a vinyl that I'll use again. So I clicked on add. Now I have 2 in my BOM. Okay, so this is the basic workflow of how to add products. And here's polycarb, which I don't need. I'm going to skip that. Polycarb comes in sheets and reels. Here's my flex face material, which I would use for a large set or a cabinet. And I'm going to skip that. I'm going to go to trim cap. So a trim cap, I do have some favorites here. And so let's say that I want to use my favorite here, and I want to use yellow. So I have 169 feet is my perimeter. 150-foot roll is the orderable quantity. So I need 2 rolls. And so I would click on add. And as I go up here, here's my render. If I had yellow there, it looks like, let me get the return on here. So again, for return, I'm already filtering, by the way, for my 5-inch can depth. So you won't see any return materials that are for, a 3-inch or a 4-inch depth. So, so here's an 032, and that's 5 inches, 270 feet linear. So I'm going to calculate that. So the same perimeter, right? 169 feet. But this is a 270-foot roll, so I get 1, and I'm going to add that. And there's my render of the return. Now I'm going to get to LEDs, and what I want to do is I'm just going to calculate for Prism Synergy Mini 6500K. It just kind of shows up near the top here. And I'm going to click on calc. And so this actually makes the LED layout. It's going to give me a layout here. And, zooming in is I'm just using the mouse wheel, right? And I can zoom in. So that's my layout. Now, what I notice here is that I have 172 modules and a bag is 208. Okay. And if you look here where it says brightness, it says standard brightness. Okay, so we actually have some adjustments in the system to have an HO level brightness or an HO plus level brightness. And if I had picked a colored acrylic, or if I had picked like day-night vinyl or something like that, then this would have punched up to HO or HO plus automatically. So we actually make that adjustment and give you a layout with a little bit more light. But I can also manually do it. So I'm going to switch to HO, and I'm going to click on calc again. and watch what happens. So I'm going to get a few more LEDs, right? Definitely more LEDs in my letters. And when I look here, it now says that I have 203 modules. So I've added, what, like 25 or 30 modules or so, like something like that, to this layout. And I'm still within one bag, right? So I just brightened up my sign, and I didn't even spend any more money. I'm still within one bag. So this is a great option here. So I'm going to keep that HO layout, and then I'm going to click on Add. And HO, by the way, is about a 20 to 25% brightness increase from the standard layout. All right, now to power supplies. And I'm going to just select the top one here, which is our Energizer Series 100 watt. Prism Synergy, of course, is a 24-volt product, so that's a 24-volt driver. And I can look up here, and I'm loading at 93%. We do load our drivers to 100%. If you don't want to drive to 100%, you can cut back here a little bit, and you can select your max driver loading percentage. Some shops like to do, say, 90% or something like that. And I'm going to click on Add. All right, now a couple more things that I'm going to add, and then we'll look at the bomb. I'm going to put a backer on here, and I'm going to select a B bond, and I want to do a this one's fine here. So this is a it's like I had a leftover calculation from last time. This is a 4x8 sheet. It's a 3 millimeter. It's white on one side, and so I get the same 3 sheets. So my faces and back should match if I'm using the same size of material. And one more item is a sign comp raceway, right? So Glantz has some bundles for sign comp. And so this is actually a product category that we do not automatically calculate. And I think that that we probably could, but sometimes you might have multiple lines, or your kerning might be different. So we think it's safer for you to do the calculation as to how many of these you need. These come in 24-foot and 2-inch sections, right? So for this letter set, I need 2. I'll have a little bit left over. I need 2, and I'm going to click on Add. Okay, so that is one where you manually put in the number. And there are some, from here down, actually. Paint is also a manual entry. Adhesives, toggle switches, and wire would all be product categories where you put in the number. Those just aren't things that we have good math for. Okay, so that's everything that I wanted to put into my job. I have 8 different products in my BOM, and I'm now going to click on View BOM, and here's the stuff that I have in my cart, right? So we have the manufacturer, the product category, the description, the Glantz code, the orderable quantity, but now we also have actual usage, right? So usage, this is where the cost accounting part comes in. So how much did I actually use? Yeah, I had to order 3 sheets. How much did I actually use, right? And remember that nesting on a sheet, it is, depending on the font, might be around 50%. In some cases, less than that. So that's part of the calculation there. But you can see all the numbers as to what you actually used. And then with the raceway, there are actually 4 optional accessories that you can add, right? There's the mounting clips, and that's 10 per 24-foot section. So I'm going to add 2 of those. There's the brackets, same deal, same numbers, 20 of those. There are the end caps, and 4 of those. And then my splice connector. If I'm putting 2 together, then there's 2 of those. Okay, so I have added all the accessories for the sign comp raceway, and I'm now good to go. This is what I want. Had I made a mistake or wanted to change something, I could go back to add products, and I could put in, add another product or change something. But this is what I want. You can see the raceway. It just goes across the center there as far as the render. So I'm now going to click on add to cart. Step 4, add to cart. And so a couple things happen when I do this. So we transfer all those products into the Glantz cart, and we create a PDF. Hopefully we create a PDF. Something went wrong on the PDF. Let me click on this again. See if I can generate that PDF. There we go. So here's what it looks like coming into the PDF. And let me just zoom in a little bit here. So the first page of the render, has the job there, and then we have a table of some summary data. We have logos of all the brands of products that you've entered. Second page is just some more details. A lot of this has to do with LEDs and power and that sort of thing, area, perimeter, et cetera, et cetera. We show power supply loading, right? So I got all the letters on one 100-watt driver. Had this been multiple drivers, it would show here in letters which letters were on which driver. So that's nice information. And then on the third page is the bill of materials. So similar to what the bomb showed, right? Orderable quantity, actual size, or size and actual usage. Okay, so this, you can download this with this button here. You can print it. And so if I click on this, so this is the full-size PDF version, a little bit clearer. So 3 pages that you can print. And then up here now you see my cart. So it shows that I have 12 products in the cart, and now it gives me a price. Okay, so once I've put everything in the cart, it then calculates the price. And here's my order. So it shows me everything that I need to see here. The product name, the quantity, the price, and an image of the product. And so as I scroll down, it's got all the accessories, and it gives me a subtotal. So, as an actual customer, I could click on next and I can order this. I generally click on save for later. And by saving for later, that puts the job into the Glantz system. I get an order acknowledgement, right? It's got my test account information here. And it shows everything in this table, right? So this is a standard functionality of the Glantz e-commerce system to save this job. So, if you still have to go out and sell this job, then you can save this in here. You can come back to it later. You can order. We also save the job on the Sign Supply Wizard side, right? So you can go back. Remember the jobs button. You can then pull up the job, and then you could generate the PDF again, add it to the cart again. You can go back and change something about that job. Maybe you need to buy a couple of gallons of paint, right? You could then go back in and add to that job. But this is what it looks like on the Glantz side now. And here's another summary of all the items. And actually, even our file is in here. So this is the PDF. There's 2 of them. I'm not sure if these are the same or different, but this is the PDF that I just displayed. So that is also saved in the Glantz system after you do the job. Now to go back, I just go back into Layout Tool, or I click on this shortcut here. It does keep the job open, so it'll keep this job open until I do a new job. Just as a reminder, I guess, as to the past job. But that's the workflow for a representative set of channel letters. I might not have time to do. I won't have time to do a whole cabinet, but let me just show you a couple of things on the cabinet, and then we can open it up to some questions. The cabinet interface. There's actually a lot you can do with cabinets, right? So height and width, single-sided, double-sided, face lit, halo lit, side lit, or hybrid. Hybrid is where we do an inline around the cabinet, and then we put in parallel rows of LEDs. That's hybrid. So that might work for like a polygon or something like that. can depth, orientation of the modules or sticks can be vertical, horizontal, or can be rotated. The shape options you can see. So, polygon is fun because you can do, like a six-sided polygon, for example, right? Something like that. You can radius the corners. You can rotate it. You can put a center pole in there. So a lot of options for cabinets. And I don't want to go through the whole workflow again, give an opportunity to have a little bit of discussion. But that's the sort of the upfront cabinet UI. Again, I will do a cabinet on Thursday. I'm going to do a deep double-sided, and I'm going to do two sets of single-sided sticks on that cabinet. So that'll be an in-depth cabinet layout that I'll do in the webinar on Thursday. But the cabinet workflow is very similar. The product categories are similar. You can do a job that has both letters and cabinets, and we see those frequently in the system. So you could do your channel letter set and do your cabinet, and then as you add products, you're either in the channel letter category or the cabinet category. So I think that's probably as far as I want to go. Heather, were there any questions that you wanted to bring up?
We do have a question about custom art. Do you want to talk a little bit about custom art, custom fonts, or custom
Sure.
text?
Yeah, so we're not yet importing custom files into the system. It is something that we're working on. We also have a great number of additional fonts in development. So we'll be up to 100 fonts in the system. But yeah, in terms of custom art import, that's a LED Wizard 8 capability at this point. We are working on that, and as you can imagine, opening up the floodgates to custom art, there's a lot of stuff that comes with that, such as scaling jobs and cleaning up data and isolating the data and making sure that the loop directions are correct and the quality is good and on and on. So it's a lot for the online system to import custom art. We're working on it. At this point, if you have custom art, it should be done in LED Wizard 8 or sent into our layout team here at Principal to help you out with the layout.
I do have one more. Do you have timing on that, Jeff? I know you said you're working on that, but any idea of timing on custom art, custom text? Or is it just on the horizon?
Oh, the timing of that. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't I'm not ready yet to say.
Okay.
I will say it's an active project that we're working on. I think we certainly understand the request for it, and I think it would make the system certainly a lot more functional. So I don't yet have a date as to when that'll be ready, but it's an active project that we're working on. Yeah.
Okay. What other questions do you all have? You can either raise your hand and I am glad to unmute you, or you can type your questions into the chat. We are at 1/2 past the hour, so if you have any questions, we're glad to take the time to answer them. But right now, I think we've got it all. So, and I did put the link. Please make sure to, if you have trouble logging in, you do have to be logged into your Glantz account, because that way we make sure any favorites you have set up, all of the special features that are specific to you will flow through to Sign Supply Wizard. So you have to log in. If you don't know how, feel free to reach out to the branch. Feel free to click the link that I put on the chat. Feel free to reach out to your sales rep. We will get you logged in very quickly so you can get in and play with the tool. So,
yeah, just if we have another couple minutes, just the concept of the favorites. When you have a product that you want to add in our system, you simply click the heart. And then as you've seen, as I've gone through, then those products are at the top. Sometimes they're filtered out if that product wouldn't work for the job that you've set up. There are cases maybe where the can depth doesn't allow that product, or the sheet of acrylic isn't big enough and that sort of thing, right? So if I have a letter set that's too big for my sheet of acrylic, it's going to tell me that, and then it's going to suggest, oh, maybe you should do a polycard reel or a flex face or something like that. So, and again, the other way to do the favorites is back on create job to to do import customer favorite lists, right? And so this is the user level. So there's actually two sets of favorites on the Glance system. There's the company favorites, and then there's customer. I think that's the name, customer favorites. So
Mhm.
it's customer favorites. It's in your account, the ones that you've set up in your account. Those are the ones that that import in. So most of these that I have on here, I've imported in. So if I click on like returns, so it says I had two, they were duplicates, so I didn't add any more. But that's what you do. So all the names that you have, you just click on there and it imports it. So I know that some of you guys have a lot of favorites in the Glance system, and that's a great way to sort of minimize, in some cases, the the searching and the filtering and everything. You can minimize it that way. You can also over here, if you use this little heart right here, this is actually another way to filter. So in this case, I did it by brand. So after all my hearts here, everything else is going to be Chemcast as the brand. So you can have, this is kind of more of a permanent filter, so that every time you go in, if you only buy Chemcast, then that's what you'd see, right? And all of these have those little hearts. So it's like kind of a second level, filtering, sort of more permanent across. Again, I use the example of a 48-inch cutter. Oh, I'm not in vinyl. So, I could put that little heart on 48 inches because that's the only, width of vinyl that I ever buy, for example. So some of these things just kind of help the system to be a little bit easier. There's also the helpline here, right? So you see that as I hover the mouse over different objects, this helpline right below here is going to sort of explain what the options are, and that's what this show help is. Show calcs will show the math that we're using to select the material. So
The
that's just
best way to
a couple
learn
of
this,
examples.
Jeff, I would say, is to get in and try it.
Absolutely.
Don't be afraid to get in and create a set of channel letters. Use a real, one of your current jobs. Feel free to put that into the tool. Flow it through the cart. Like Jeff said, you can save the cart for later. So just because it's in your cart doesn't mean you're checking out, although we would love for you to. We're working on Jeff on that. That's one step he continues to fail to do, is to finish checking out on his
Right.
card. But please get in there, play around with this tool. We are here to help you learn it. Our users that have gone into Sign Supply Wizard and have used the tool have really, really found value in it. So do not be afraid to get in there and try it. Our team, all our sales reps, they are very well versed in this tool and glad to answer your questions. So we would love to see you in there, just testing and trying and practicing so you can see how important that bill of material is to cost out your jobs. So we have found that's the best way, is get in there and just do it. So,
Absolutely. Yep.
okay. I don't have
Okay.
any other questions on this side.
Um,
So great job, Jeff, as always. We appreciate you.
Thank you, Heather.
Um,
Thanks,
and
everyone. Yeah, and if again, if you have additional questions, you can reach out to me as well. And if you want to know more, sign up and come back on Thursday. We'll do a couple
yes.
more interesting jobs, get a little more in depth.
And that's that's a great point. Get in there and play around with it today, tomorrow, and then feel free to get in on Thursday, and we will be glad to answer any questions you have. So that's a great way to do things. So, all
Absolutely.
right. Well, thanks everyone for joining us today. And thank you, Jeff.
Thank you.